Hi, I'm Marilyn Tate, and this is my AEP 880 Cultural Diversity Module 1 introductory video. Uh, a little bit about me. I live right in the middle of Oklahoma City, which is kind of, for being in the middle of Oklahoma, I know people don't really realize, but there is a lot of diversity here in our city. I have I taught here for 14 and a half years, regular education right in the middle of the city, so I've taught a lot of diverse classrooms. I've had kids from multiple African countries, Asian countries, Middle Eastern countries, South American countries, Central American countries. I've taught, of course, Native American kids being in Oklahoma, and then, kids who are multi-generational American as well, black and white. Uh, there is a huge Vietnamese district here in the middle of Oklahoma City and population, as well as a very active gay community in our city that we are somewhat part of as well, being part of the art and music scene here. For my free time, as I've gotten older, it's changed. I used to really be into music. Now I really, having kids, traveling has become very important to me. We've tried to take our kids around the country to see some of the um, landmarks and different areas of the country, and kind of appreciate our own country. Hopefully, we would like to travel the world someday, but that's a little more expensive. My family, I am one of five children. Uh, my parents were married for 60 years. My father died in 2017, not that long ago. I have two children of my own. I've been married to my husband John for over 20 years, a really long time. My kids are 19 and 12, both turning 20 and 13 this year, so I have to think about that. Very close knit family that I come from. My ethnicity is something interesting. I put on here a screenshot of my DNA results from Ancestry. I took a DNA test a couple of years ago. It has recently updated. The results were kind of surprising. I'm 100% European, which we didn't think that based on pictures that we have of family members. Really expected some African and Native American in there, and so it's kind of weird, and we wonder about these people, uh, great grandmother, in particular, where that comes from. So we always knew English a little bit, and knew a little bit of Irish, uh, but didn't realize we were 100% European. Now, as far as my ethnicity and my family culture, I'll say that European ethnicity, I guess, is present in my family culture, but really, what I would say my culture is built on is more of a agrarian culture, farming culture, and just kind of country. Oklahoma, we're Okies for sure. Uh, you know, my family is all located in the south and southeastern part of Oklahoma, as you could see from that DNA slide. But grew up around cows and farming and growing our own vegetables, shooting guns, some hunting, things like that. Basically, anything that involves the country, I grew up around it. I consider myself more of a city person, but at the same time, my roots are very country. Food, the kind of food that we eat, which is always really good food, and things like that. I'll say one bit of my culture, and I've included on here some slides of my children and my husband and I playing music. My father played music as well. That's a big part of our family, and I would say, maybe going back to the Irish roots, that might be where that's from, but it's something I've grown up with. Music's been really important, and playing music as well. So I've never really thought about it as far as ethnic culture, um, just more of my immediate family culture. It's kind of weird. When I think about culture, I think there is biological, I guess, specifically ethnic culture, and then there is a family culture of what you are used to or just what you know. Because, like I said, I didn't really know how European I was, and that it was so located in such a small area where I come from. Um, since I found that out, I've actually kind of been looking into it a little bit more. My husband found out his DNA as well, so with that, we've actually been become pretty interested in learning about our culture. Um, in fact, I'll add to this, my husband, through his DNA test, actually found out who his biological father was when he was 45 years old. So, which opened up the fact that he knew he was Polish. He knew he was Irish, wasn't as Irish as he thought he was. Found out he was Polish Italian. And so, my family's really been exploring, the Italian, Germanic, part of our culture, that we haven't known about as long. Um, I would say that I see culture as a really important part of who we are. I've never thought about it for myself. Like I said, I've always just considered, okay, we're country. We're from Oklahoma. And I never really considered that a culture. But, when I think about it, it is. It's my culture. I feel very uh, lucky to live in a really diverse city and for my children to grow up in diverse schools, and where I grew up in a town that was all white, small town, not a lot to experience there. They're growing up with diverse, there's diversity in like festivals, art, music, all kinds of things, and just the fact that they're friends, they're very good friends that they've grown up with and gone to school with, or just all different kinds of kids. So, um, I think diversity is really important in our schools. I know I see the difference in moving from a more diverse school system to a less diverse school system, that some of my kids in the less diverse school system, they just don't know about as many things, and they're kind of missing out, I guess. So, that's my module. I hope you learned something about me, and I'm excited about this course. I know it's going to go fast. Thanks.